Greetings and Merry Christmas or Feliz Natal from here in the Valley of the Stars. I hope you have a good break ahead of you, and thanks for tuning in to this audio edition of the blog Off Grid and Entertaining in Portugal. There's a Christmas theme, of course, to things this week. Happy Holidays, it's called. Something to ponder over a festive table. And there's lots of links and lots of information on the website version. So if there's anything that jumps out at you while I'm reading, go on to my Substack, Off Grid and Entertaining in Portugal, and you can see all the links to the various articles and things I've been talking about, and also to be able to book to come and stay here and stay with us and take the discount that we're giving for all you listeners and readers out there who are brilliant and have supported us for all these years. Here we go. One of the great things about being married to a Portuguese Swede is also one of the great things about being an only child. It really pays off at Christmas. As a kid, I was the spoilt brat with no brothers or sisters to share the gift space on Santa's sleigh, and as a grown-up, I get to celebrate twice, or some might argue 3 times. Since Anna and I met, Christmas has officially begun on December the 24th, with a julbord of pickled herring and smoked salmon, glazed ham, meatballs with red cabbage and potato bake, special seasonal dark bread, and crispbread wheels of Vörtbröd alongside cheese to make sure nobody goes hungry. It's all finished off by saffron buns and gingerbread, and washed down with lashings of glögg, mulled wine, laced with spices and vodka. Tack. Then, to continue the excess, the 25th kicks in, with its turkey and all the trimmings, sweet mince pies, and a Christmas cake which spent the first few months of its life being soaked in brandy. And of course, British celebrations come with the bonus of Boxing Day, for turkey and all the trimmings round 2, fried up in a bubble and squeak, and then a thick soup to make sure we don't go near a turkey for at least another year. Where I still love the Christmas specials on British TV and the King's Speech, Anna loves the decades-long Swedish tradition of watching, and I'm not going to do the Swedish version, From All of Us to All of You. It's an animated Best of Disney special which was first shown in 1958. They've been watching it ever since, every year. But with us still knee-deep in learning marketing, as I mentioned last time, and the occasional guests to attend to, and with it being just the 2 of us for Christmas this year, we've cut down on the decorations and the inevitable food mountain. All those Swedish and British specialities are bad enough when shared with a dozen people, let alone just us and the animals, even though the animals might disagree. Normally we go Christmas crazy. Imagine an explosion in a tinsel and fairy light factory. But having lost so many old and treasured glass baubles to the wrong kind of Christmas tree, harvested from our own land with their non-stick branches, we decided to go tree and tinsel free this year. The nearest we get to a white Christmas here is fields swathed in daisies after the autumn rain. And although the weather's not as unseasonally strange as a southern hemisphere December, Johannesburg also celebrates Christmas in July, don't you know, we're still enjoying temperatures in the mid-teens Celsius by day and not much less than 6 Celsius by night. It did, however, feel a little bit more Christmassy in Lisbon this week. We had some end-of-year business to do with our amazing accountant, Madalena, talking all things wine with our friend Mauro, and recording a radio story I'm doing on Portugal's wooden house revolution. And we were also invited to a fabulous event organised by Stephen O'Regan and his People of Lisbon at Andre Piguel's secret wine and dinner club, Flores. An amazing gang of interesting people gathered, including magician Magic Douglas, and the famous performer Lamb Chop, assisted by ventriloquist Mallory Lewis, daughter of Shari Lewis, who created Lamb Chop in the 1950s. Gotta look that one up. We went to a few Christmas markets, discovered another of the old-school amazing bars in the Chinese Pavilion family, and took Simon the dog to all his favourite places, including the Estrella Gardens, where he picks up his Lisbon P-mail. Garfunkel remains less convinced by the big city. The only two safe spaces in town for the big dog are our flat in Estrella and the big red box of freedom, Cassie the Hilux, which he knows is the only way back to his Monte in Alentejo. We visited a couple of our favourite old-style Portuguese lunch and dinner places and treated ourselves to a few fun desserts. And it's been a good week for Portugal on quite a few end-of-year measures, which are usually published this time of year. Not only did Taste Atlas name Pastéis de Belém the best sweet pastry in the world, it also awarded it third place, along with all the other pastel de nata makers in Portugal. I do love a pastel de nata, and we certainly consider the ones from Belém in Lisbon the original and the best. And in the cake category, it was a straight 1-2 for Anna, with both her countries taking top honours. In second place was the Swedish rich chocolate cake kladdkaka, which our daughter Oda has mastered. First place in the cake charts went to Pão de Ló, a famous creamy egg yolky sponge cake, which I'd never heard of, let alone tried, until just this week, when our winemaking friend Mauro gave us one for Christmas. He also handed over another carload of his own fantastic Castelao red wine, and some wax for us to put Valdes Estrelas labels on and seal ready for the year ahead. We also tried a white wine, an Arinto, which he thinks could be a good one for us to stock, or perhaps a white blend he's still perfecting, so we can have a Valdes Estrelas red and white wine next year. The only problem is we need a label. Are there any artists we know out there? I'm thinking of you, Ed Sumner, and the Cheese and Wine Painting Club. And speaking of cheese, Taste Atlas also awarded Portugal the world's third best cheese, with its queijo de azeitão, semi-soft sheep's cheese from just up our coast in Setúbal. Portugal also claimed top spot in The Economist's end-of-year measure for which economy did the best in 2025. Topping Spain's performance to take last year's honour, the magazine praised Portugal's strong GDP growth, low inflation and a buoyant stock market. And there's been some good news in terms of big investments coming into the country, and some great news, as far as we're concerned, with tourism here heading for a record €30 billion year. There are two sides to the story, of course. Although the government announced the minimum wage would be increased by €50 next year, it only takes it to €920 a month. It goes some way to explain why it might be the best performing economy, but again, in The Economist, it's only in 40th place for living standards. And the European Commission estimated house prices are overvalued in Portugal by more than 25%, which is contributing to a lack of affordable housing here. All figures which make my story on the rise of wooden modular houses in Portugal even more relevant. I'll let you know when that's coming out. But for now, all the very best for the holiday and the year ahead. And don't forget the reader's discount code when you book to come and see us, Xmas25, and our first wine retreat in partnership with the Hutchins Wine Academy in May. We do hope we will see you here in 2026. Thanks very much indeed for listening. Do go onto the website and click on some of those links. There's lots of stuff in there for you to read up on while you're digesting your turkey and your sill and your meatballs. I'll speak to you next time, and all the best for the new year.